In today's video, I'm going to share with you how you can ship books to Amazon using a third-party listing software called Go2Lister, and I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. So what I've done over here is just laid out all the books that I have to ship to Amazon, and I have a box here. I found this box at Walmart, and the first step that I always like to do is just take all the books that I'm going to ship out and put them all in a box to make sure that they all fit. And then also have a scale just to make sure that the box isn't over 50 pounds, just because Amazon doesn't allow you to ship books over 50 pounds, or you don't want to essentially violate the terms of service. So essentially I've done that here. And the reason why I like to do that beforehand is because I'm going to try to do this as simple as possible, which is just send everything in one box. I don't really want to have to worry about split shipments, even though it is going to be a little bit more expensive. I just want to ship all of these books in this one box to a warehouse, just so that I can get boxes out and so that you can get boxes out. So now that I've got all the books that I want to fit in this box, and I know that the weight of all of the books is under 50 pounds, we're going to go into the screen and actually start listing them with Go2Lister. I'll show you how to sign up for Go2Lister. You can also, use my link if you want to give me a small kickback, and also you'll get an extended trial. So let's do it. All right, so all you need to do is go and click the link down in the description. It will bring you here to the homepage of Go2Lister, and then you can go and click on start a free trial. Now, you're just going to have to sign up with some basic information, and I'll go ahead and sign in here, and we'll go to the homepage. Now, the first thing that we're going to want to do is make sure that we have all of our settings intact. So what I recommend doing is going here to the settings button, and I'll just walk through each of these different things. It's pretty self-explanatory here. And of course, I'm going to make sure that all of my personal information, like my shipping address, anything like that, is going to be blurred out because, you probably shouldn't know where I live. But the first thing is an address. So all you need to do is, go ahead and enter where you live and click save now. Pretty self-explanatory. This is the ship from address. So obviously you're going to be sending your books to Amazon. Amazon needs to know what your shipping address is. That's pretty simple, right? Now over here on item conditions, this is how you actually are going to condition your products or your books. I set the default condition to good. You can default it to whatever you want, but I have it as good. And then you can go ahead and add any condition description that you like. And I recommend just keeping it simple here. You can type in light wear ships fast, add that. Moderate wear ships fast, add that. Moderate to heavy wear ships fast, heavy wear ships fast. I like to keep it really simple because, I grade books as either, acceptable, good, very good. And I have, very simple descriptions just to make it really simple for the buyer. Now, if you want to have a specific SKU or custom SKU, then all you would do over here is select up to 6 tags of information that you're interested in tracking for each product. So all this means is when the actual book shows up in your manage inventory page on Amazon, it will have a SKU, which is just a string of different tags that you said that's important to you. So for me, I have the source, meaning where I bought it from, the buy cost, the list date, and then just a random number after that. So go ahead and make it up however you want. You simply just click any of these in the order that you want it, and then you click save. Now for sourcers and listers, this just simply means you can go and type in the name of any place that you bought the book from. So you could use Keep a Deals, you could use Bookmine, you could use Keep a Track product feature at the thrift store, whatever it is that you want. You can say, hey, I specifically got it from this place. Because again, when we go back to SKU, the first part of my SKU, my custom SKU, is going to be my source. So this would be an easy way for you to figure out, okay, well, all these books in my inventory, they came from a thrift store, for example. Now under match listers, you just go ahead and add the name of the person who's doing the shipping. So for me, it's just my name. So I put Joji. You can click add there. And now we can go over to pricing rules. Now, I think the pricing rules are pretty cool. Although if you understand how to read keeper graphs, I would say it's not really necessary, but it's so great to have because it does make things simple. I would say it's not something I would fully trust 100%. I would 100% absolutely recommend learning how to read keeper graphs and base pricing decision off of your own knowledge. But certainly this is better than nothing. You can choose either smart pricing or to match the buy box. I usually just keep mine on smart pricing, but again, I don't necessarily rely on the pricing that is done by Go2Lister. I normally just will price, I do just price based upon my understanding of what books values are and what they should sell for. But essentially, we'll tell you based upon the min and max sales rank, what FBA slot they're going to put the book in. Essentially, all this means is that if you have a book that is really, really popular and has a sales rank under 125,000, right now, if you ship the book to Amazon, if they place you in the 4th FBA slot, they're essentially trying to help you get a little extra money. So again, I think it's pretty cool. Do I use it? Personally, I don't, because I just price the book according to my expertise, but feel free to use that if you want. I think it's a cool thing to have. Okay, under indicators, if you specifically want, when you do list the book, for there to be like a little red or green button based upon, a max rank or a minimum profit, feel free to do that. If let's say, for example, you want to make sure that you're only sending books in that are $5 profit or more. And if you list a book and it's going to be under $5 profit, then there could be a little red button. And if that's useful or valuable to you, then again, you can have that. Again, for me, I don't really see that necessary for me, but you can do that if you want to. Now, under printing type, it really depends on how you plan to label your product. So I have a Rolo label printer, which I'll show you a little bit later on, but it's going to print out a little F and SKU label, which goes on the back of each book. And I'll show you that later. Now, Rolo label printer, you can get it down below. It's linked down below. I think it's like $150 to $200, or you can pick them up on eBay much, much cheaper, maybe like $100 to $115 to $120. The Rolo printer is very, very convenient and will save you a bunch of time. But if you're someone who's just trying to get your first shipment to Amazon, you could also use 30 up label sheets. It's essentially just a piece of paper that has 30 labels on it, and you can get that at any local store like Walmart or Staples or Target. Actually, I'm not sure Target, but Staples, Walmart, any office supply store will have them. You get them on Amazon, and they're pretty cheap. My default printer is going to be my Rolo printer because, again, I have that thermal label printer. But if you're just going to use the 30 up label sheet, then you would actually use just a regular generic printer, and you would go ahead and select the appropriate printer there. Now, the label size, I use the Rolo 2x1. Again, I can link that down below to show you what kind of labels I use. And then lastly, the label orientation is going to be portrait, okay? Now, after you know that, you can, certainly click test FBA label, test MF label, and this is what just popped out of the Rolo label printer that I have. The F and SKU label, which is going to go on the back of the back of the book. It's going to cover the barcode. Why? Because when Amazon opens your box with all your products in it, they don't want to scan this barcode because this means nothing to Amazon. They want to scan your label because your label has all the information to associate this book with your account. That's the only way Amazon will know who this book belongs to, and therefore they will know who to pay when somebody actually buys it. Okay, so once you've got all this in here, you get to click save. Now, the next thing you need to do is actually connect your Amazon seller account with Go2Lister, because Go2Lister is essentially working on your behalf to send or ship books to Amazon for you. So you're going to come down here under account and click, actually, no, you're going to come here and click connection. You can see it says my account is already connected and I can disconnect it. What you're going to do, since you haven't connected your account, is just click on the connect button. It's going to run you through some very basic prompts, and then you should be connected. It will say your account is connected and you should be good to go. And once you've got that set up, you're really ready to go. It's quite easy. So what you're going to do is come over here and click on the create button. And so right now we're going to create an FBA shipment. FBA means fulfilled by Amazon, meaning we're actually shipping our books, our big box, to Amazon. An Amazon employee is going to open up that box. They're going to take all of the books that we have in there, scan them all into their software, right? And put all those books on a shelf. And they're going to sit there and be live for sale. And eventually a customer will buy it. Amazon will ship it to the customer. This is called FBA, Fulfilled by Amazon. And that's the whole purpose of this video, is shipping your books to the Amazon warehouse so that they do all the customer fulfillment and you don't have to do any of that. So we're going to click Fulfilled by Amazon. Now you have to type in a batch number. So this is technically my third batch of this month. And again, this is arbitrary. You can name whatever you want. I like to name it the month, the batch of that month. So this would be batch 3, and then the year, 2025. So this is April batch 3, 2025. It lets me know when I sent it in. If that's helpful to you, then use it. If it's not, then just make up whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. Now, I have the smart pricing, although again, I just price based upon my understanding of Keepa. I've got plenty of Keepa tutorials on my YouTube channel to help you price books appropriately. Now, it's listed by Joji. It's shipping from my address here. So again, I'll have my address blurred out so you don't know where I live, but you're just going to go and click on your address. Under who labels, you're going to say that you want to label your products. If you don't, then you're going to pay Amazon 30 cents for each book to label. It's just nonsense. There's no real reason why you'd want them to do that. So click on I want to label my products. Then for packing type, you're going to say I'm packing individual products. That just means that you have a box with a bunch of random stuff in it. It's not like a case pack product where it's like 50 units of just one thing. So you're going to go ahead and click on individual products. Under box content, you want to use Go2Lister to provide box content. And then lastly, under batch version, you're going to say, I want to use the new batch flow. And then you're going to click create batch. Now, this is how simple it is. You've got a few pieces of information that you need to put in here. And then you can click, the search button. It's going to queue up and essentially be listed. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm going to show you how to list 3 of the books that I had in that whole box, and the reason why I'm only going to show you 3 is because the process is going to be the same. So I do online book arbitrage, which means all the books I'm about to show you are books that I bought on Amazon in used condition with the goal or intention of reselling it on Amazon in used condition. That's my model, Amazon to Amazon book flipping. So let's get started. The first book here we have is Fumble. Now, most books, if they're over, I think 1970 something, when barcodes became a thing and ISBNs became a thing, will have a barcode, and you can use a barcode scanner, which you can find on Amazon. It's pretty cheap, and you can just scan the barcode right here into the search function of the search bar here. Now, this particular book doesn't have one, so all I'm going to do is simply type in ISBN, which for this book has come on the back. It also, for most books, will actually be on the copyright page as well, and you can actually see right down there is the ISBN. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and type that number in, and you'll see that I have my condition defaulted to good. I would say that this book is in good condition. I mean, it's as simple as making sure that the binding is intact, that there's nothing, let's say, torn, there isn't any water damage, there isn't any mold. Like it's not a very stringent process. It's just like, is the book in good condition, acceptable condition, very good. I'm gonna go and type in this number, which is 01513411435. And I'm gonna leave quantity 1 as a default because I only have 1 of these. I would say it's in good condition. If it's not, you could click whatever you want, but I'm gonna say it's good condition. Under source, we're gonna say A2A because A2A for me stands for Amazon to Amazon, meaning I bought it on Amazon to resell it on Amazon. And then you can go and put your buy cost in. So I don't have it pulled up, but I'm just gonna I don't know. Let's just pretend it's $10. I don't even know. I'd have to go back and look at my Amazon account, but you'd put your buy cost in. So if you got at a thrift store, you'd put 50 cents, a dollar. An easy way, if let's say you bought a bunch of books for $50, just average them all out for each book and you can come up with a price there. Now, I would just say that this has this has moderate wear. So I just would say under condition description, moderate wear ships fast. That was a sort of condition description that I had created before, and I showed you that in the beginning. Now, of course, you could write one here if you want as well, and save it and have a different condition note. But I like to keep things simple. Moderate wear. It does have moderate wear. It also ships fast, and that's about it. I'm gonna go and click the search button, and now this book says added to the queue and keep scanning. Now, it is possible that when you do this, there could be something like a red bar that pops up, which says that the item wasn't added successfully, that there's an error, and that error would need to be fixed up here. And there's a bunch of different reasons why there could be an error. And maybe we'll have an error show up in one of these 3 books. But you can see that this book has shown up as $12.50, is what Go2Lister thinks I should price the book at. And we're gonna go ahead and take a look to see, okay, well, what does the keeper graph look like and what will we price the book at? So this looks like a longer tail book. Honestly, not a very good book, probably that I should have bought, but looks like I bought it for $10.04. Currently, it's priced at right around $12.50. In the past, it looks like it has sold up to $40. But yeah, honestly, looking at this, not really sure why I would have bought this, last year. And it probably was a book that actually got returned to me, meaning is actually was probably a book that did get purchased and then got returned. So, anyways, we're gonna send this book back in, and I would just say for a book like this, like I said, it has sold twice this year for right around $30, and then it has sold lower than that. So I don't know. We'll put $25. Definitely not one of my best purchases. I definitely buy books that are a lot better than this. So kind of embarrassing that this is the first book up, but we'll put $25. At a purchase price of $10, we'd make a $4 profit. So again, not a great book, but it is actually added here, and I'm gonna go and add the other books now. So next one is Gem Trails of Utah. So awesome book. This book actually does have a barcode, but it has an ISBN above there as well. Now there is a barcode covering it, and that's because I believe this is a book that either had sold and got returned, or it's a book that I sent in that has a high pricing error. But I'm just gonna do the same thing, moderate wear, good condition, and I'll just type in ISBN 18897863373, and I'll add that as well. Okay, now the labels aren't actually going to print out, or you can't print out the labels until after you've sent the batch in. So what we're doing now is just listing all of the books and getting them ready for the shipment. So you can see that it's pricing me at $29.99. And if we go down to the keeper graph, again, we can make a decision about what we want to price the book at. This is a book that kind of is wild and goes up and down in price over time. And I know I have sold this book before. Let's actually take a look. So it looks like I sold this, 11 months ago for $35. So let's just go at that price. I've sold this book for $35 before in the past. So we'll go ahead and put $35 here. And again, I had the buy cost put at $10, but we could actually take a look at what I bought it for here. So click on this button and it looks like we bought it for $14.96. So if we put $14.96 as the buy cost, and if we do sell it for $35, we'd make a $9 profit. Okay. Now, next book is this book here, Carry. Now, this one's interesting because it doesn't actually have a barcode. So it's an older book. And I think if you go to the copyright page, let me see if there's a ISBN number. I think it's also pre-ISBN. So I don't even think it has an ISBN number either. So in that case, we're just going to look up the book on Amazon. And so it's as simple as typing in the name of the book, Carrie by Stephen King. And we can see that that's the listing right there. So we'll click on it. And it looks like if we scroll down to the keeper graph, this is a better book. It looks like it has sold multiple times from the 70s. And we're going to price it right around $75. So I'll go ahead and price that at 75. But first, we actually need to grab the ASIN so that we can list it. So there's a couple places you can find that. You can find it in the URL. It's actually just going to be this string of letters and numbers there. So you can copy it there, or you can go down to the bottom here, and it should show you right here, product details, ASIN. So I'll copy that, come back here, put it in the search bar, and then click search. Well, let me make sure it's in a good condition. I'd say it's in acceptable condition. So we'll say acceptable condition. I still think it's moderate wear. So moderate wear, ships fast, A2A. And I think this book we spent about like $25 on, and we can click search. So we'll see that that gets added to the queue. And all I'm going to do for the rest of these books is the same thing. Either, use a barcode scanner and scan the back of the barcode, or type in the ISBN, or search for the title on Amazon, find the ASIN, and put it in here. It's pretty self-explanatory. So I'll come back once all that's done. All right, so I have every single book that was in that box listed. You can see it's a total of 17 items or 13 SKUs. So it's 13 unique books. And then the one book I have a couple copies of. So you have your average rank, your sales value, your buy cost, and then your potential profit if everything were to sell at that price. So now what we're going to do is go over to Amazon Seller Central. And so simply navigate to Amazon Seller Central, come up here to the setting notch, scroll down and click on Fulfillment by Amazon. And once you're there, scroll down to where you see inbound settings, and you're gonna go and click edit here. Now you can do the Amazon optimized split shipments. And what that simply means is Amazon is going to break down all the books, all the different books that you had, and they want to send 5 to this warehouse and 7 to that warehouse and 8 to this warehouse. And that's so, you know, theoretically they can, just have a better distribution of your products and therefore, maybe make customers happy, lower costs, yada, yada. Now, I don't like to do that because it's just more work for me. It takes more time, and it's kind of debatable how much money you're actually saving because you do have to ship to multiple locations, which means it does cost money because you have to ship to this place and ship to that place. And so even though the minimal shipment split is going to be, going to one location, it's still going to be expensive because there's going to be placement fees. In other words, Amazon will charge you money because you want to just ship it to one place rather than a bunch of places. But that's okay. The cost to ship is actually incredibly cheap when you think about how much weight books have. So let's just worry about, finding good inventory. So I have minimal shipment splits and I have West selected because I live on the West Coast. Obviously, you can select it based upon where you live. I'm gonna click update. Now, once we're done with that, we're gonna come back here to Go2Lister and we're gonna click on this button, which says send batch. And you'll see this little pop-up, which says your SKUs were sent to Amazon and are being created. You will receive a notification when completed. So how long will this take? I'm not sure. It could take 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, a couple hours. It just takes time for these listings to be created. And that's just kind of the way it is. So what I recommend doing is getting all your books, listed there. Go ahead and click on that button. And then it's just a waiting game. Maybe you do this at nighttime so that when you wake up in the morning, they're ready to go. Maybe you do it in the morning. It doesn't really matter. Just everyone has to do it. Unfortunately, you have to wait. And all I can say is that's just how it is. So I'll come back when this is actually done and we've got some places to put this. All right, it's actually the next morning and the SKUs are finished being created. I can now proceed to box content. So again, we had to wait for all those to be listed. And now we can just click on this box content button. And essentially what we're going to do is just tell Amazon what to expect in each of our boxes. Now, if you remember at the beginning, I started with just one box and put all the books I wanted to ship in one box so that this would be really easy. And I could just click add to all the box one. Now, if, for example, you were going to have multiple boxes, then what you need to do is you might have to add a box like this so that you have a certain number of books in box one, a certain number of books in box two, and so on. But I'm just gonna click this add all to box one. And this is gonna bring all of the different books into just that one grouping. And then what we can do is click print all. So again, I have a Rolo printer, and what this is going to do is essentially just print out all of the labels for me. If you have a 30 up label sheet, then what you need to do is click on this print button, and this will bring up a label sheet that you can print for all of your, 30 up labels. Okay. So, and again, I don't do the 30 up labels anymore. So maybe if you click print all, if you have your settings set up for that specific printer for 30 up labels, you'll be fine. But basically, what has just happened is that my Rolo label printer printed out all of the labels. And now what we're going to do is just put all of these on the back of each book. Okay, so this is really simple. All we need to do is take the F and SKU label and then put it on the back of each of the books. Now, if the book has a barcode, you're going to want to go ahead and cover that. So, for example, there is actually a barcode beneath the sticker. And so we would want to actually cover that. And notice this book also has another barcode. All you want to do is make sure that is like without a doubt, like Amazon knows whose book this is. So I'm going to cover the F and SKU label with my label there. And I'll just get a blank label and cover it there just because we don't want them scanning that. We want them scanning, our book. So this particular book, Advanced Mathematics. So all you do is you just try to find where Advanced Mathematics is. And it looks like there's one at the top. This is a seasonal high school teacher's edition textbook, which does incredibly well. I think it'll sell for right around like 50 to 60 bucks. And we picked it up on Amazon. So that will go right over like that. And then again, I don't have one with me right now, but I'll put another blank F and SKU label. So the same label with nothing on it over that one. And then we'll just do the same thing here. We have the second copy of the book. You can see this one has the barcode up there. So we'll go ahead and take this and put that right there. And it's pretty, self-explanatory. You're just going to do it for every single book. And once I'm done with that, I'll put them in the box and show you what to do next. Okay, so here's the box. I went ahead and essentially just Tetrised everything in. And obviously there's going to be some empty space. And so what I'd recommend using is void fill. And there's a couple different options. I would not recommend using like newspaper. Amazon actually wants you to use some sort of like craft paper, bubble wrap, something like that. So I've just got like some bubble wrap that I've gotten from orders, and I've got craft paper from Amazon returns. But you can actually buy like a roll of craft paper, and that all works great. So essentially all I'm going to do is take that, fill in any void space, because you don't really want there to be empty space, because when this is being shipped to Amazon, understandably, it's not always going to be taken very well care of. So just want to make sure that there's no empty space. So I wanted to put the craft paper in there. Okay, it was really as simple as that. And now all there's left to do is to tape it up. All right, so I taped it up pretty nicely. And the reason why I would do that is because this could represent like $1,000 worth of profit. So if you have to use a little extra tape to make sure it stays shut, that's fine. And then you'll notice that if I move it around, there's no like rattling inside. It's because there's no empty space. And that's great because we want it to be nice and compact. Now, what we're also going to do is make sure that we get our scale, and we're going to go ahead and put this box on the scale. We're going to get the weight, and we're going to remember that because we're going to need it here in a second. And then this box comes from Walmart. It's a 15 by 12 by 10. But you'd also want to make sure you measure the length, width, and height. And there are some rules if you get the exact rules, but you don't want the box to be too big. And you can just look it up, like, how big can the box be that you ship to Amazon. But, you can ship some pretty large boxes, but you just want to make sure that it's not over 50 pounds and it's not over whatever that maximum weight is. All right. So this just goes on the scale like this. And the weight is 35 pounds, 6 ounces. So we'll round up, we'll say 36 pounds. So it's gonna be 36 pounds, 15 by 12 by 10. Okay, so we're back here over at Box Content. We've packed all the books in that one box, and we're gonna go ahead and click on Continue to Box Info. And now we're gonna put the box weight, length, width, and height. So I'm gonna go and put 36 pounds. It's 15 by 12 by 10. We're gonna click Submit. And now essentially what is going to happen is Amazon is going to try to find a placement, in other words, a warehouse for this to go to, because of the fact that what we had chosen in the beginning on Amazon Seller Central to send it just, to one warehouse, to not have it split and go to different warehouses, basically Go2Lister is talking to Amazon, trying to find that best place to send it to. Now there's going to be basically two fees. First fee is going to be the shipping charge. The second fee is going to be the placement fees. And the placement fees are what you're paying for this, sort of convenience of just shipping all in one location, which to me it's incredibly worth it because, at this stage of life, I am much more willing to pay for speed of things and time and save time. So this is going to also take a little bit of time, and I'll show you when the options come back. Here we go. We've been given 3 options, and you'll see that each of these has a placement fee and an estimated shipping cost, and it is dependent based upon where it's going, obviously, for the shipping cost. So this one is clearly the cheapest, total of $18. We're gonna go with this one. It's a $10.50 estimated shipping cost to this warehouse, $7.89 in placement fees, and it's gonna go through UPS. So we're just gonna click this, select. Looks like this is now gonna go to an Arizona warehouse. I'm in California, so it's a neighboring state. I'm gonna click accept charges. And this is actually really good, $18.39 for 16 books or 36 pounds. That's actually a really great deal in my opinion. And again, remember the shipping cost is actually just $10, which is crazy. It's just kind of the placement fees, which make it a little bit more expensive. But again, the way that I think about it is now I don't have to do split shipments, and it's just a lot less work for me. And I definitely value my time. It's not to say that it's anything bad if you want to save money and you want to go split shipment around. I just don't do that because again, I value my time. So we click accept charges, and we're gonna go ahead and wait until we get the shipping label. Okay, so we can see that this says print all labels, and I'm just gonna click on that button. Now, what's going to pop up is a PDF. Now, on this page, obviously, I'm going to have all of my shipping information, all of my ship from address, all that stuff blurred out because there's, again, no reason for you to know that. But essentially, all you would then do is right click, click print. Now, if you have, let's say, the same thing here, I'm going to go ahead and obviously block my address so you can't see anything. But um, if you just have a regular printer, you can just print this out and tape it on the box. Again, I have another roller printer. I actually have 2 of them. So I'm gonna use roller printer copy 1. And again, gonna make sure that my information is blurred out there. I'm gonna click print. And now we have our shipping labels, and we're just gonna go put these on the box. All right, so we got our shipping labels here. This is pretty self-explanatory. You just put the shipping labels on the box. What I recommend doing is making sure that you don't cover the middle portion of the box because Amazon is going to slit this box open. And if you put your shipping labels in the center where they slit through it, it makes it harder for them to know whose box this is. And if I learned anything, you want to make sure that Amazon knows that your stuff belongs to you. So make it easy on yourself and then put on the sides like this. And, again, if you printed it out, you could tape it on like this, but this is, I use a roll label printer and now it's ready to go. So you've got a couple of options now. And so option number 1 is you could just put this in your car, drop it off at UPS. Now, I don't really like to do that again because I like to save time. So what I'll do is I'll go on pirateship.com and schedule not a free, but schedule a pickup, which costs anywhere from about $4.50 to about $6. And so, yes, it is an added expense. But again, from my perspective, if I go put this in my car, drive to UPS, or even if it's kind of on the way, like it's still 10, 15, 20 minutes. I mean, to save $4 or $6, it's not really worth it for me. So I usually will do 2 or 3 shipments, get those boxes, on the front porch. UPS picks it up for $6 and they'll do that for as many packages that you have. So in other words, it's incredibly easy to send your books to Amazon if you use Go2Lister. And hopefully this video is helpful to you. If it was, make sure you use the link down below to get an extended trial. Also gives me a small kickback and helps support the channel. But I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.